How does EXOMIND compare to standard TMS?
EXOMIND can deliver any kind of TMS. So EXOMIND is just another TMS device.
Okay.
But it has a lot of flexibility to treat any protocol you want to program in there.
Okay.
And it does it in a much more user-friendly way for the doctors, the providers, the techs, and then in a much more comfortable way for the patients. So that's where it's really a generational leap forward in technology.
And that's kind of one of the things that I've noticed, and you kind of touched on, is that these manufacturers have not advanced the technology.
No, there hasn't been a new
in TMS.
There hasn't been a new device on the market, like truly new and novel, in over a decade.
Yeah.
So
EXOMIND, because they've only been out for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Right. But I have seen some things from them treated in an EXOMIND device now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can say that.
You have.
One-Day Protocol, correct?
That's the Kind One-Day TMS Protocol.
Tell me about that.
That is the most exciting thing I've ever been a part of. So, TMS traditionally has been administered in this 36-day treatment cycle, which is one of the barriers to people getting TMS because it just takes so long, and not everyone qualifies for it. And that's the only way insurance will cover it right now in the United States. About 6 years ago now at Stanford, a group of scientists came together to look at shortening that protocol to an accelerated protocol called SAINT protocol. The SAINT protocol, which is also known as the Stanford or accelerated protocol. And that condenses those treatments into 1 week. So you're doing like 8 treatments a day for 5 straight days, which is very, very intense. But also very effective. You see faster responses with that. And so when we started my TMS clinic at my practice, we were doing almost exclusively accelerated protocols. So we were kind of the opposite of a lot of other clinics where they were doing mostly extended protocols and occasionally they do an accelerated protocol. We were all accelerated. And then only later did we start doing 36-day protocols just to make it available to more people. So we had a lot of experience in this accelerated format. And then last year, around this time, I was at the International Clinical TMS Society meeting in London with my mentor, Jonathan Downer. Okay. And we had talked about doing, he had always been interested in shortening the protocol even more to a single day. And so I just remember this like it happened yesterday. He turned to me. He's like, I think it's time. We got to do a single day. Can we do it in a month? Like a whole study. And I'm like, wow. Okay. And we did. And, and so we were the first clinical center in the world to do a single day of TMS. So that's 20 sessions. Okay. This is what I was. 20 sessions. So exciting. It is so exciting. It is like this is the most. I felt like I was opening Christmas presents right there. So 20 sessions. 20 sessions. 1 day. 1 day. They're 4 minutes each. And they are spaced 30 minutes apart. Okay. We start at like 6 in the morning and it goes 10 hours. Wow. It is hardcore. Okay. But it's awesome because then you're done. So it's all theta bursts. All theta bursts. So you get 4-minute session. You get out of the chair. 30 minutes from when you get out of the chair, the next one starts. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So you're in that clinic all day. Yep. You can't even leave. We DoorDash in anything you want. Of course. We can't leave because it throws everyone off. So we can treat 3 people at a time in my clinic on that single day protocol. In the same chair too, huh? In the same chair. Okay. And I have the most amazing team. They have it down like clockwork. So we did the study. So how many people were in the study? 17 people were in the initial study. It was a two-site study, 17 here and 17 in Seattle in Washington State. And we, from that study, had a 92% response rate. And that's what we're continuing to see. We've treated almost 100 people more since then. Wow. And maybe even more than that. And continuing to replicate those results. What's interesting in that initial study, which we can probably link on this, right? We totally can. Yeah. So in that study, we used a neuroplastic agent called D-cycloserine to help enhance the neuroplasticity. And we used a very low dose of Vyvanse, which is like Adderall. It's a stimulant just to help people like deal with the whole day.
Yeah.
And so it's still unclear. Since then, we haven't used that much, and we're still getting the same results. So we used that in the beginning, but we haven't really needed it since. And so we're out now looking at doing another study, really just identifying clearly that we don't necessarily need those neuroplastic agents to achieve the same results, because they're really difficult to come by. The D-cycloserine is very expensive and just hard to source. So there are a lot of other studies going on around the country with this, trying to look more at this single-day protocol. A lot of the major research institutions around the country are now testing it. So it's really exciting that we were the pioneers and the first to do it. And that's my mission, to get this out there everywhere, because it's fast and easy.
Fast and easy. You cut that down, like we said, you're going to help people get through this time. Because that is one thing, right? When I did my initial, it was 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Right?
Some people
I had to drive 52 miles one way to get it as well.
Exactly.
So if you can cut that down to 1 day.
Yeah. People don't have 8 weeks sometimes. And so we have people that come from the East Coast. They'll come out on a Sunday, get treated all day Monday, and then leave on Tuesday.
You're home comfortably on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Back to work, I'm assuming too, right?
Yes.
That's actually pretty fascinating. Done in an EXOMIND chair?
Yep.
Wow.
Well, we don't have a chair. We have the.
I'm sorry.
The comfy,
I'm sorry.
The comfy bed.
The bed, right? When I did my TMS, I was like, we need to get a hold of NASA and launch a TMS device and just TMS the world. Because I do believe everybody can benefit from this. There's no way like it did all these amazing things for me and I'm just this magical anomaly, right?
No, everybody can every
benefit
human
from
on the planet can benefit. We treat kids in our office as young as 10, and people, well into their 90s. Everyone gets better.